All right, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. Today is January 8th, so 2021 already off to a pretty crazy start, but I got a couple of good-looking squeezes for you guys this morning. So first one I want to look at is the squeeze here on the S&P 500. So at this point, the squeeze hasn't quite fired yet, but you do have this really good-looking daily squeeze. Of course, we got the weekly squeeze firing. I think the major thing to take into consideration is, as swing traders, we want to be looking to take those entries near the 21 and locking up our profits on the push away from the 21. So do keep in mind, guys, in a fast-moving market, such as one that can definitely take place once we get a squeeze firing to the upside, you want to look for those dips at the very least to that 8 EMA. So that's something to keep an eye on here. You continue to kind of chase this, and it's not that the market is going to roll over. It's just that, if you're buying at that upper Bollinger Band, you might have to sit through that dip down to the 8, potentially that dip down to the 21. And for a lot of folks, that can be a little bit uncomfortable. So keep that in mind. And if we look at the Qs here, I think the Qs are a little bit better looking. We really haven't started to test that Bollinger Band yet, though looking pretty close here this morning. So just things to keep in mind, guys. As always, when you're structuring your trades and you're choosing your expiration dates, your strike selection, your position size, we need to be comfortable sitting through a pullback at least to the 8 and potentially to the 21 EMA. So a couple of good looking squeezes for you guys. The first one I got here is pins. So pins has been a big topic of discussion in the Simpler Trading Options room. And if you guys aren't in there yet, in the description of the video, I got the link for the 7-day free trial. So in the checkout area, just enter the coupon code FOCUS, FOCUS, and I'll see y'all in there. But in the room right now, pins is a big topic of discussion. Good looking daily squeeze. We're back above our 21, and you can see momentum on the histogram is finally starting to turn over a bit. So I do got a couple positions here on Peloton, or pins rather. Nothing on Peloton. So on pins, you got earnings, I believe, the first week of February. So I'm going January 29th expiration, selling some put credit spreads. So it looks a little bit weird on the chain, but I sold the 66.5 and bought the 65.5 as protection yesterday afternoon. And a little bit earlier in the session, I sold the 66 and bought the 65. So basically with the put credit spread here, I'm just really, placing a bet that the daily squeeze isn't going to fire to the downside, dropping below my short strike. So I like pins. We'll keep an eye on that one that I am open-minded to adding a little bit more to. And then for Nvidia and Amazon, Nvidia doesn't have the cleanest daily chart just yet, but the 3-day squeeze is certainly starting to look a little bit better. So things are getting nice and tight. You are seeing that momentum begin to shift a little bit with the exhaustion of those ugly bearish bars. So I think Nvidia does look solid. And keep in mind, you have the whole semiconductor sector making a beautiful push right now, firing their own daily squeeze. So anytime a sector is releasing that energy to the upside, I think following the individual components with very similar setups, Nvidia, AMD, Micron, TSM, is always a good bet. So I got my positions in Nvidia still, but do keep in mind, I've been trading this based on the weekly chart. So I like the weekly squeeze. January 29th, January 5th, expiration, February 5th. Couple put credit spreads here out at 517.5 by 512.5, and then on the Feb 5th we got 510 by 505 and 500 by 490 put credit spread. So that's what I'm rocking with there, guys, on Nvidia. And then a couple more good looking squeezes. I think Nike is a great candidate. However, I don't want to get long here near that top Bollinger Band. It could continue to run. I would prefer at least a dip to the 8 EMA, maybe even better, a dip to the 21, but it's on my pullback watch list. Another one on the pullback watch list is Roku. Huge move yesterday, right? Just crazy, crazy move. Brand new all-time high. Is it going to continue to run? It's definitely possible. Am I going to look to get long here? Definitely not. It's just not my style of trading. So another one where if we can get the dip to the 8, I'll be interested in taking a look there. And a few more here, guys. Peloton, I'm not going to rush into just yet, and maybe I do miss the move back towards the highs, but I would like to give it a little bit of time, wait for some nice, fresh, tight squeezes to set up, looking for that continuation back to the highs. So I'm being nice and patient on Peloton, but I think a good looking setup to focus on. In AMD, this is one I'm actually going to be looking for a position in here today. Now that Nvidia is looking a little bit better, I wouldn't mind some more exposure into a semiconductor stock. So for Nvidia, got our positions there. We're good to go. And with AMD here, what I'm thinking is something like this. This is just my mindset. This is what I'm looking for. But January 22nd expiration, if we could get a put credit spread, and let's see here. $90 by $89, it's $1 wide, is going to give you, about a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. So for a nice, call it income trade, you could go 100 contracts, or at least that's what I would do. If you can get filled around 37 cents or so, you're risking 6.3 thousand to make 3.7. So a really solid risk reward, selling those puts down under support at 90, looking for the continuation of yesterday's nice move. So peeping AMD here into the open. It looks like the only lower time frame squeeze we have right now is a 15. It might be something to keep an eye on today. But that's what I'm focusing on right now. I got my Amazon, I got my Nvidia, I got my pins, looking for a little bit of AMD, waiting for pullbacks on names like Roku, Nike, keeping an eye on Peloton, and then just keep in mind the market is a little bit extended, and if there's ever a time where we can get really extended, of course it's when a daily squeeze is firing to the upside, but at the very least, position size, all that good stuff, and just take into consideration, you could get a dip back to the 8, or a flush back to the 21 as always. So best of luck today, guys. Let's finish the day strong and finish the week strong, and I'll see y'all soon. And before I let you guys go, let's take a look at the Amazon. So not the prettiest daily chart in the world, that's for sure. The 3-day squeeze, though, is starting to look much better. You got some bullish momentum hitting the histogram. We do have the orange dot squeeze on the Squeeze Pro. So it doesn't get much better than that as far as looking for that nice tight compression, but I'm really still focusing here on that weekly squeeze. As long as we're holding above that weekly 21, I'm comfortable holding my put credit spreads. So for Amazon, let's see, guys. The current open position here for Amazon is the January 29th expiration, and we got some decent cushion here. Sold the puts at 30.50 and then bought the 30.40s as protection. So as long as we continue to ride and hold above that 21 on the weekly here, I'm comfortable holding on to that position. See if we can get that potential move, especially as the 3-day squeeze is taking shape here into the earnings announcement. We'll see.